that one, which was very dear to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he was traveling. He was constantly chanting. So we will be reading from Trunud Api Sunichana, lower than the straw in the street by His Holiness Guru Govinda Swami Maharaj. And I think yesterday we read about the ideal teacher. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Amanina Manadena that one should always be respectful to others without demanding respect in return. Krishna Adhisthana Jani. Krishna is present in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma. And in the Gita he has said, Mama Namaskaru. Pay obeisances to me. Obeisances are to be paid only to Krishna. Therefore, because Krishna is present in every living entity as Paramatma, what harm is there when we pay obeisances? Obeisances are never paid to body, obeisances are being paid to Krishna in the form of Paramatma. We read that part. Pay obeisances to all Vaishnavas. We pay respect to all Vaishnavas without consideration, whether one is senior or junior. This is Vaishnava etiquette. But we see at the temple, we have forgotten these basic principles. We never offer any obeisances. We want to keep our head high. You are a Vaishnava and your wife is a Vaishnavi. So when you get up from your bed in the early morning, pay obeisances to your wife. Pay obeisances to the Paramatma, that is Amanina Manadena, showing respect to everyone and not expecting any respect ourselves. I think it will be coming out in this book that when the couple was getting married, they invited Guru Govinda Swami Maharaj. And I think in that little blessings speaks, Guru Govinda Maharaj requested the couple to offer obeisances. Husband should offer to the wife and wife should offer to the husband. We have a Vaishnava in our house, but how many times are we offering? Ask yourself. However, we also have a practical consideration when teaching. A real sadhu, saintly person pays respect to one and all because he is never paying obeisances to the body. He is paying obeisances to the Paramatma. Krishna Adhisthana Jani, in the heart. To teach practically in public, we pay obeisances to those who are superior to us. We do not pay obeisances openly to those who are junior to us. We offer them respect in the mind. A real sadhu, saintly person, act like this. Before you have paid obeisances to him, he has already paid respect to you in his mind. Here, Mahaprabhu publicly paid obeisances to Mayavadis because they are sannyasis. In his purport, Prabhupada Maharaj has written, quote, a Vaishnava must not disrespect anyone. To say nothing of a sannyasi. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching practically. Amanina Manadena, respect for one and all. When we write a letter to a Vaishnava, we first say, please accept my obeisances, whatever he or she may be, senior or junior, we pay our obeisances. This is Vaishnava etiquette. You are a Vaishnava and your wife is Vaishnavi. She must be offered obeisances. What is the harm? This is Mahaprabhu's teaching. Srila Prabhupada has written in his purport that those who desire to follow in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu must practice the method of the devotional life that he teaches. Haribol. I think there is something that we can implement in our daily life. I think Mother will feel so good if he can somehow become humble. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj instruction, or maybe Gaur Kishore Das Babaji instructed, that's something, but I read. Let's see. Another story comes to my mind that Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj taught us. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was the spiritual master of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, Paramahams Shiromani. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj was a Bhajananandi. He was not accepting disciples, but he had many followers who paid him respect. One of them was named Sambhu Babu. So Sambhu Babu came to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj after his marriage and paid obeisances. Haribol. The followers who were sitting there told Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, quote, Sambhu Babu has come and he is now married, unquote. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, quote, it is very nice that Sambhu Babu is married, unquote. Then seeing him, he said, quote, Sambhu Babu, you are a Vaishnava and your wife is a Vaishnavi. So you should serve her. A Vaishnava should serve other devotee of the Lord. You know, when I was listening Charlie Kirk memorial ceremony, and he was a really, really excellent Vaishnava. His wife was telling that he used to write to her every Saturday, what should I do so you can remain happy? How humble that person was. It's really his life mood. He was not an ordinary person, at least I can say. In this connection, I may tell you, when Mahaprabhu stayed in Puri, every year the villagers of Kulyagram would visit during Rath Yatra and stay for 4 months of the rainy season. And after Chaturmas, they would return to their homes. The Grihastha villagers of Kalyagram asked Mahaprabhu, what is our duty? Prabhu kahena Krishna seva, Vaishnava sevana, nirantara kara, Krishna nam sankirtana. Mahaprabhu said, you should serve a Vaishnava, thereby Krishna will be worshipped. And always do Krishna Sankirtan. This is your duty. So this is Vaishnava etiquette. A Vaishnava should serve other Vaishnavas. Thereby Krishna will be very much pleased. Therefore, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj said, Sambhu Babu, your wife is a Vaishnavi, so you should serve her. You should take her remnants because she is a Vaishnavi. Haribol. That is Vaishnava etiquette. That means you should cook and serve her. Vaishnavi Dandavat, please take Haribol. I think it's very good because who knows who is gonna go first. So if we practice serving our wife, at least we will know the cooking. And if she depart before us, at least we know how to survive. We are so lazy. Gurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj said this to Shambhu Babu. This is our Vaishnava teaching. We are not the body, we are spirit soul. Jivere Swarupa Hai Krishnere Nityadas. The real identity of the Jiva is that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. That is our philosophy. When you accept a Vaishnava Guru and are initiated by Pancharatrika Vidhi, the purificatory ceremony takes place and you become Vaishnava or Vaishnavi. Thus, a woman should be paid obeisances and a Vaishnava should serve her and take her remanence. That is our Vaishnava system, etiquette. That system is there when we perform the Vaishnava marriage. After the marriage is performed, the bride and the bridegroom, husband and wife, sit together and take Mahaprasad. The husband will take the remnants of the wife, and the wife will take the remnants of the husband. That systems we have, and we follow it. If you are not married according to the Vaishnava system, then you will not know this. But this is the way Vaishnava marriage ceremony is performed. I don't know, we tell this thing when the devotee get married. It would be nice. We also instruct that as a Vaishnavi, the wife should pay obeisances to the husband. As soon as they get up early in the morning, both should pay obeisances to each other by chanting this mantra, Vancha kalpataru bharshyasya kripa sindhu bhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. This is a Vaishnava etiquette. We do this. You should do it too, even if you have not become a Vaishnava. If you are not initiated but you are following, that is as good as being a Vaishnava. I teach this to all my disciples. You may ask the married couple. I have explained this here because the topic came up. How Mahaprabhu taught Amani Manada. This is how Mahaprabhu has taught us Amani Manada. He sat down at the place where the people wash their feet, though he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many Shastric proofs, Vedic proofs, that Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. If there is no Vedic proof, one cannot become the Lord. These Mayavadis were declaring themselves God. Prabhupada has said, quote, those who declare themselves God and those who accept such a rascal as God are all rascals. They should be beaten with the shoes, unquote. Srila Prabhupada paid obeisances to such rascals because Krishna Adhisthana. This is practical teaching and Mahaprabhu is a practical teacher. Then he exhibited his opulence, Koti Surya, and the effulgence of millions of sun emanated from his body. The Mayavadis, seeing his effulgence, stood up in respect. They went to where he was sitting and asked, quote, please come and sit with us. Why are you sitting here? What did Mahaprabhu say to this? Mahaprabhu said, quote, no, 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 no. You are all great. I'm very low. It is not befitting that I should go and sit with you. Then they forcibly brought him there. This is how Mahaprabhu has taught us. Taranada api sunichena, taror iva shahishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadavi. So this is the end of the first chapter. Tomorrow we will be starting from chapter number 2, Taror Iva Shahisnuna, as tolerant as a tree. You know, if you really look at the creation of Krishna, we can have so many gurus. I was visiting the family last weekend in Dallas. That their daughter, only 42 years old, fell down in the bathroom and leave this world. So finally we visit them, and they had the dog because the daughter used to keep the dog, so they have bring. While looking, we can learn from the dog is a very, very faithful living entity. You can never find any faithful greater than the dog. They will give up their life to protect their master. So we should, Krishna has created this world that we can learn from each and every living being. But because of our pride, we don't want to bow down. So we will continue now. We are reading from Srila Prabhupada Life. Prabhupada Lilamrita, Volume 5. We are on chapter number 3. I will build a wonderful temple for you. I think I'll just read few lines to bring up to the speed because we are so dull-headed. Of course, in one sense, all the Prabhupada godbrothers were equally praiseworthy as long as they followed the basic instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, chanted Hare Krishna, and avoided sinful life. But if analysis or criticism was to be made with such scrutiny, then let the preaching record be scrutinized. Who, above all, was extending the mercy of the Lord Nityananda and making such tremendous gains on behalf of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? Gains that had previously seemed impossible. According to Chaitanya Charitamrita, if a preacher could spread the chanting of Hare Krishna, then he must be accepted as empowered by God. That's where we are. So now we continue. Prabhupada was certainly empowered, yet he conducted himself very humbly, with no assistance from others. He had repeatedly invited his godbrothers to join him in the West and take their places beside him as preachers in the Krishna consciousness movement. Why had they not come forward to assist him in the spiritual master's mission? Instead of complaining about him, the one godbrother who was carrying out Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's mission. It was not the place of Prabhupada disciple to criticize. However, and he had sternly warned them that they had no positions to do so. They should treat his godbrother as disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and therefore as on the level of their own spiritual master. Nevertheless, Prabhupada's disciples became sorry to see this lack of respect for the spiritual master. They could be humble and not protest, but how could they be affectionate toward persons who criticize their spiritual master and his Krishna consciousness movement? After the 5-day festival, Prabhupada left Mayapur for Vrindavan, where he planned to hold another groundbreaking ceremony. The Mayapur land was still completely undeveloped, and Prabhupada urged his disciples in India to continue collecting the necessary funds. We are making a very gorgeous plan at Mayapur, and if you all together can give shape to this plan, it will be unique in the whole world. It will be a world center for teaching spiritual life. Students from all over the world will come, and we shall revolutionize the atheistic and communistic tendencies of rascal philosophers. So we must be responsible for this great task. Not for a single moment shall we be without ISKCON thoughts. That is my request to you all. So now, next is on February 1972. During Srila Prabhupada's absence from Vrindavan, the devotees had been unable to persuade Mr. S to grant legal permission for ISKCON to use the land. Prabhupada had insistently directed one of his Indian-born disciples, Shirodaksai, to acquire from Mr. S an actual deed. Shirodaksai had pleaded with Mr. S, and seeing Mr. S' indecision, he had spoken with Mrs. S and then with the two of them together. Mr. and Mrs. S had agreed that since they could not decide, they would put the matter before Srimati Radharani herself. Mrs. S had asked Shirodaksai to take 2 slips of paper and to write yes on one and no on other. Then she had folded and placed before the family deity of Radha Krishna. She had then asked Shirodaksai to pick one of the papers. Shirodaksai had done so, and in the presence of Mr. and Mrs. S, Radha and Krishna, he had opened the piece of paper on which was written the word yes. When Prabhupada had heard the news, he had been joyous. I am especially pleased upon you that you have secured the as land for Krishna. Now let us cooperate to build up a wonderful center there in Vrindavan. In March 1972, Prabhupada returned to Vrindavan to sign the deed with Mr. S and to perform the groundbreaking ceremony. With permission from the Goswamis at the Radha Damodar temple, he arranged for quarters for his disciple so they would have a place to reside while the temple at Ramanreti was under construction. I think same thing I did it by the mercy of Guru and Krishna who I am, but they must have given me some thought. So when the construction of the temple was not going smoothly, I take up the project to build the sannyasis residence and the guest house, and I personally bought all these items for both places and become a general contractor. Haribo. That was very nice. In March, and the sannyasi's residence was completely designed according to my vision. Whatever Krishna and my Guru Maharaj gave me, I follow through. In March 1972, Prabhupada returned to Vrindavan to sign the deed with Mr. S and to perform the groundbreaking ceremony. With permission from the Goswamis at the Radha Damodar temple, he arranged for quarters for his disciple so they would have a place to reside while the temple at Ramareti was under construction. So Yamuna Mataji is explaining this in her own words as follows. It just so happened that on the morning that the Goswamis were to sign an agreement with Prabhupada for use of the rooms at the Radha Damodar, the electricity went out. Prabhupada's secretary has only an electric typewriter. So I reminded Prabhupada that I was trained in writing calligraphy. I had my writing pens with me. So immediately Prabhupada drafted the writing that he wanted, and I took it into another room, sat down, and hand lettered a contract with gold embossing on all the capitals. Within 15 minutes, we presented to Srila. These three places, and believe me, these three projects are more dear to Prabhupada than any yet contemplated. So the topic is getting cheap. No, I'm sorry. Within 15 minutes, we presented to Srila Prabhupada. Before the Goswamis, Prabhupada held up the document with pleasure and said, quote, just say, my disciples are expert in everything, unquote. Now the devotees would be allowed to reside above his room at Radha Damodar temple, and they would also have access to his room for cleaning. Prabhupada felt it was a grand occasion that there was something in writing for his preservation of his room at the Radha Damodar temple. To close the transactions for the land in Ramareti, Prabhupada and Mr. S met at the magistrate court in Mathura. In the presence of lawyers, they completed the formalities. Prabhupada saw it as Krishna's grace that he had acquired a good plot of land in Vrindavan, and writing to his GBC secretaries in America, he asked them to send as many men as possible to help in the new project. He described his intentions, quote, for raising up a very excellent center to revive the spiritual life for Vrindavan on behalf of Rupa and Jiva Goswamis, unquote. Prabhupada said, told Shirodaksani, quote, I went on this occasion, huge prasadam should be prepared, and every man in Vrindavan should be invited and take prasadam, unquote. 2 days later, with hundreds of people attending, Prabhupada held the cornerstone laying ceremony at Ramareti. Again, he descended into the ceremonial pit and placed the deity of Anantases, on whose head the temple would rest. But later that night, the land was attacked. An elderly Indian widow with local fame as a sadhu became angry that Mr. S had not given her the land, which she had several times requested. During the night, she sent Gundas to dismantle the brick foundation of the ceremonial cornerstone and to desecrate the pit, which has just that day been filled with flowers and religious objects. The Gundas dug open the hole, threw garbage into it, and stole the posted sign announcing the land's new ownership. Prabhupada was in his room at the Radha Damodar temple when he heard what had happened. He became angry and told his disciple to show the deed to the police. That night, several policemen guarded the land, and when the hired Gunda came again, the police accosted them and warned that if they caused any more trouble, they would be arrested. And that was the end of that. Prabhupada had several times said that by becoming a devotee, one gains many enemies. The incidents also serve to confirm Prabhupada's conviction that ISKCON taking possession of the land should be followed as quickly as possible by construction of a temple. They should at least encircle the land with a fence, build small huts, and live on the land while preparing for temple construction. So Tejas Prabhu is describing this in his own words. I think we have 3 minutes. Quote, "This will be the Krishna Balram temple," unquote, Prabhupada said. We didn't really know what was going on. We all thought it was so far away. It was really the boondocks, Raman Reti. Nobody was out there. It was such an isolated place, and there were lots of dacoits living out there. You know, it's exactly happened when we moved to this current location on 1320 West 34th Street. Actually, when we bought it, this area was horrible. So many people were taking marijuanas and smoking ganja. Even when Chaitanya Prabhu purchased that house, which is very close, we were feeling it so far. And all these people were living in this neighborhood. But I think one time Krishna Seva Prabhu told me that Gurudev was so smart. He said, he told me that, hey Krishna Seva, Kishan at that time, he was not initiated. So he said, hey Kishan, invest the money and buy the house around this temple. You will become a rich man. And that's true. They have the foresight to see. So we thought, if you are going to have a temple out here, no one will ever come. But Prabhupada said, wherever there is a Krishna, everyone comes. So that was also the things at our location. Some people thinking that we should have bought the land in Sugarland area where a lot of Indian community was living, but Tamal Krishna Maharaj made the beautiful choices. So we are enjoying that. So today I will be leaving soon because Shyam Vallavi has another cataract surgery today on her left eye. Finally, we convinced the surgeon to do because she was really suffering with one eye to use some prescription different, and the other one is plain glass. So we have the surgery at 7:30, so I don't know how long. I will be over here for another, at least one round I will chant. And then I think Saman Prabhu or another admins can take over. Also, Saman Prabhu, that tomorrow would be my last day of joining this call. So if you can stop by at my house, I can give you all these books and everything. So you can continue the program with all the other admins. And I humbly request all the devotees to that please show your dedications to the holy name by joining every single day. That's my humble request till I return back. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.